Page 60, Country Song. 4 flats. We're still in the key of A flat major. Make sure you can do the scale for A flat major and F minor. If you've been doing them and you know those scales, then go ahead and be doing them 2 octaves up and down. It wouldn't hurt you to start doing the arpeggios on both of those. The A flat and C or F minor. Do the arpeggios on that, at least 1 octave up and down, but 2 octaves is better. Let's cover this one hand at a time. I have a few suggestions here. Now this little note at the beginning is called a grace note. The little note. I'm going to leave that out right now. I'll put that in a little later. So right now it's just here. And they want 4-2. My problem with that fingering is that when I do the grace note, it means the thumb is there. Here. And I would rather not. So I'm going to use 3-5 here. And I can do a 3-2 here if I want. Here. This way, when I do the grace note, I can do it with second finger. Here. Or I can do that with thumb too. That's fine. I can get up in here a little more easily with big hands because there's no black key in between here and I got a little more room to fit. It's not like it's in here where there's 2 black keys on. And then lift up and go up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I just lift up and come down. And we can get away with that here, just lifting up and moving like this because of the 8VA later on. But right now it's no 8VA, just do it this way. And then again lift up. Second line, second measure. 1 and 2 and 3. I'm going to figure all this the same way. Last line on page 60, look at this. I like this fingering in the book. We're going to do here, the melody's the top note, so it's here. I can connect it all. I'm just sliding off is all I'm doing. Here, and then I'm pivoting on the thumb and coming across. So it's here. Of course I'm sliding off. And thumb catches the rest. First line on page 61. 1 and 2 and 3. Thumb here. And I prefer a 2-5 for the E flat C. This is the second measure there at the top line. 1 and 2 and the whole chord is that. And that's the fingering I use. Some people would use 3rd finger, but I use 4th. So it's 1 and 2, 3, and then the thumb. And I do a 5, 3, because I'm there. Here, I'm in this position, except when you zoom. They're saying, and that's okay too. The fingering of the book is fine. I just prefer, and 2-4 is fine because the little grace note's a white key this time. And you do that again. Last line at the bottom on page 61. You're here. I have 4th finger on that, and then it's going up. And again, I use the 3-5. But you can use the fingering in the book. They're saying 4-2 again. That's a D flat, remember, it's in the key signature. Our problem is now I got to go to here. Yuck. There's not a lot we can do with it. We're kind of stuck here. The fingering in the book is fine if you want to do that. Here, and then you got to come here. You're coming from here to here. We're going to use the pedal to connect it. It'd be nice if we could connect it with the fingers, but you can't with that. Or you can do 3-5 and then lift up during the rest to come down and do 3-5 again. Now I'm on 1-3. I can do a 1-4 or 1-4 and then substitute here. Do it quickly when you play it so it's here because you need to connect that. Here is another way. So again, here, and that way way you can connect it all with the hands. On the left hand, you just got the broken chords. And the fingering you use is up to you, but that's like the last note in the first measure. I use like 3 or 4 here because I need 5th finger here. So, and that's closer. Now here, not a lot you can do when you have to go down like that. You just go down. At the bottom of the page, last measure on page 60, that's a half note, 2 voices. The half note and the 8th note, you hold the half note down. That's all. Same thing at the bottom of page 61. Once you get it learned and you get into interpreting it, there's really nothing wrong with finger pedaling the bottom note anyway, and just holding it down even at the beginning. That's interpreting, but don't do that when you're first learning it. Just play it the way it's written at first. So don't hold them down unless it's a half note. Put the hands together carefully. So forth. You take it at your speed. I'm going a little fast, but you go through and you work it out, the whole thing with the hands together, and then go back and get rid of the hesitations. It needs to be a steady beat at some speed. It can be nice and slow, it doesn't matter. Then we can put in the articulation in these grace notes. Now there's different ways of playing grace notes. People don't agree on how they should be played. In fact, some people say there's only one way to play grace note. What are you talking about? Yeah. It's a real quick little note. Right before the note, the main note. I don't know what fingering you use a fingering, but some people say it's before the beat. In that case, it would be here. Other people say it's on the beat, so these come together. In a country style, it's pretty much always on the beat. Here. And in this piece, I recommend you do it on the beat. All of them on the beat, wherever they are. Doesn't mean you'll always do them on the beat, although I typically do. But at least for this piece and a country western style music, I recommend them on the beat. Then just the slurring. You have to lift up to move anyway, but we're taking advantage of the phrasing that gives us time to move up. I mean, we can change. Yeah, okay. And that's really about it as far as articulation goes. Dynamics, we want to hear the right hand. Keep the left hand very soft. So forth. You're starting out moderately soft at the last measure of the hair. Go up a little bit to moderately loud. The left hand stays very soft. Just keep the left hand out of the way. We want to hear the rest in the right hand there at the tip. And you're staying pretty much moderately loud there. At the bottom of the page 61, at the end, it's very soft. And it slows down. This gives you a chance, if you want to do a finger substitution, it gives you more time. Here. And once you have that, as far as the speed goes, keep it slow. My tendency is I want to speed this up. Keep it slow, and they're saying that we can play this with more of a swing style. Long, short, the 8th notes, the counting, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and so it's here. So 1 and 2. So you can do that if you want. Do it after you learn it. Learn it evenly first. first, and then you can do that. The swinging part of it is more into interpreting the music. Now they have some 8 VAs in here. Let's talk about that. You have a first and second ending at the bottom of page 61. So when you repeat it, you're going to go back to the beginning to repeat. And on the repeat, it's the second time. This part, this measure, the first measure, will go up an octave. So instead of here, you don't play it up here. But the second measure is not an octave. You come down here. Then you up here again. And then back down. Each time you do that, you're up here on the repeat. Then at the bottom of page 60, last line, they want you, those last eighth notes, they want, instead of here, they want them up here. And on page 61, you're going to play the whole thing up here. Left hand doesn't move. The left hand stays right down here. It does not go up an octave. It's only the right hand that goes up. Then we add pedal. Oh boy. Well, why are we adding pedal? It's going to help us in a couple of spots to connect the notes. But here, like at the beginning, it's going to add color to the long notes held out. And this is one of the reasons we can pedal. You can pedal notes to add the overtones for a longer note, to give it a little color. Otherwise it just sits there and dies away. But this way it can sit there and die away colorfully or something like that. It's going to be lag pedal. That is, the hands or the notes go down first and then the pedal afterwards. At the beginning it's here. And I'm not pedaling until the second beat here. I don't want to catch all this. I don't want all that. So it's here. However, I suggest you finger pedal that first note in here, because if you don't, you'll lose it. And we want that note throughout. At least finger pedal it long enough for the pedal to catch it. Now they're pedaling at the end of the second line, or second measure. You don't need to. I see no reason for it. Unless you just want to connect it, but it's a new phrase, you don't have to connect it. Here on page 61, I don't know why they're pedaling this here. Unless they just want that note in the left hand to continue to sound. But otherwise, I see no reason to pedal that. I see no reason to pedal that. However, you can pedal it if you want. Just pedal it like they're showing though. Forth, that's up to you. At the bottom of page 61 there, here, again I see no reason to pedal that first measure. I like these to be clean and by themselves, so I wouldn't pedal it. But here, it helps to connect them, but it adds all these overtones. Is that really what you want when you're slowing down and you're very soft and dying away? So if you're going to pedal there at the last line, I suggest you very little. Just pedal long enough to connect the notes is all, and I wouldn't pedal any more than that. So you have to remember the pedaling indications are always suggestions most of the time. And so you have to think, what do you like to hear? Learn it without pedals so you know what's going on, and then you understand the effect the pedal is having when you use it. Now, a couple of things at the bottom of page 61, just to make sure you understand. The first measure there on this, it's the second ending, that's for the last line. They have an LOCO, which means local, which means the 8VA goes away. Okay, so these notes, because you've been playing after you've repeated, you've been doing this right hand an octave higher the whole page. Well, then you're going to end up here, and then you come down here to play them where they're written. And the ritardando, you're going to slow down, and they say still slower. Okay, I don't know how much you slow down, but okay, if you don't know if you really need a still slower or not, just keep slowing down. Now the challenge for me on this piece is not to speed it up. It's got to stay a fairly slow, even, gently. It says very slowly, and that's a challenge. I want to speed it up. I want to make it bounce along, and it's not supposed to bounce along. It's supposed to rock along slowly, I guess. I don't know.